gift wrapped it any better. It all started innocently enough. Quarterback Joe Pisarcik, number 9, had the hot hand, and the Eagles secondary couldn't stop him. New York moved out to a 14-0 lead, and at times the usually stout Eagle defense made itself rather conspicuous by its absence. But the Eagles haven't been blown out of a game all season, and Sunday was to be no exception. Down by 14, Ron Jaworski turned skyward, and his picture-perfect passes moved the Eagles into position for 2 short touchdowns. However, as the final gun approached, New York was sitting on the football while holding a commanding 5-point lead. As the clock ran down, there was the customary late-game shoving, but there was no need for the Eagles to vent their frustrations, for they were about to be blessed by the weekend's most questionable piece of judgment. The call came from John McVay's offensive coordinator. Chances are it will not be studied at next summer's coaching clinics. Number 46, Herman Edwards, scored the winning touchdown as Philadelphia overcame all odds in a 19-17 victory. Why did the Giants elect to go with a handoff instead of allowing Pisarcik to fall on the ball and run out the clock? Good question. Had there been no fumble, nobody would have asked. But the ball did get away, and these Eagles did recover and capitalize. And those Giants did go down the tubes in a game they never should have lost. An early Christmas gift? You betcha. And Eagle head coach Dick Vermeil seemed to be thanking a higher authority.
The Mazda RX-7, an incredible sports car value, is now joined by another incredible value. The new 79 Mazda GLC station wagon. At just $42.95, it's priced lower than any import wagons sold in America. It's versatile and economical and has a responsive new 4-cylinder engine. The new Mazda GLC wagon.
The more you look, the more you like.
Used to be when I had a job to do around the house, it was one-on-one. Me against the house. And since the house was much bigger, I usually lost. Well, I've just changed all that with my new Black & Decker Workmate. It'll hold just about anything I want to work on, from a door to a pipe to a 200-pound dresser. In fact, my Workmate is so good at helping me work, I'm giving it Sunday off.
Workmate's available from about $45.
Whatever your insurance needs, see State Farm agent Dick Koala. Dick can insure your life, your home, your auto, and your health. So depend on State Farm and Dick Koala.
No offense, Bob, but Emily's fixed me up about 10 times, and her taste in men is the pits.
Go ahead and hit me.
We want you out of the building by the end of the week.
Good, sure.
She felt like doing that. Don't ever do that again.
Don't miss the Bob Newhart Show, Saturdays at 6:30 p.m. here on Channel 7.
This is Grease. John Travolta, Olivia Newton-John. Grease, rated PG.
Now showing at a theater or drive-in near you in Austin and surrounding area. Check newspaper for theater and showtime.
The mercury dropped below freezing last week in Denver, but it did not deter those members in good standing in the Fraternal Order of the Orange Crush. And at the outset of the game, the chill had little effect on the visiting Green Bay Packers, who found some very creative ways to keep warm. Gimmick plays can be effective, but the Packers went that route once too often, much to the delight of the rugged Denver defense. The Broncos relied on their usual formula of great defense and just enough points to dispose of the Packers 16-3. Here's something you don't see every day. In fact, it's been 4 years since Atlanta punter John James has had any of his kicks blocked. But last Sunday, the Chicago Bears did just that, en route to a 13-7 victory. It ended an 8-game Bears losing streak while snapping Atlanta's winning skein at 4. The loss pretty much put an end to any hopes the Falcons had of winning the NFC Western Division, although they are still very much in the running for a wild card slot. That Western title will probably go to the Los Angeles Rams, who had their hands full last week against cellar-dwelling San Francisco. Dave Williams' 89-yard kickoff return was only one of several plays that enabled the 49ers to regain some respect against one of the league's best teams. Second effort plays like number 85 Paul Seal's catch and carry kept the Niners in the game long after many had expected them to fade. But in the end, the Rams proved to be just a little bit better as they managed to eke out a surprisingly tough 31-28 decision. San Francisco's chief competition for the worst record in football comes from the Cincinnati Bengals. Last week against the Steelers, Cincy easily stayed in the running for that dubious distinction. A tough Bengal defense kept things close, but Pittsburgh won anyway, 7-6. Yet while the Bengals fell to their 11th loss in 12 games, Ohio's other pro team, the Cleveland Browns, were rolling over Baltimore as ageless running back Calvin Hill, number 35, caught 3 touchdown passes. The Browns chalked up 480 yards in total offense while their defense contributed to the scoring column when number 21 Oliver Davis returned a third-period interception for a touchdown that put the game away. Cleveland won 45-24 to even their record at 6-6 and keep their slim playoff hopes intact. Winter finally came to the North Country last week, and in Minnesota the fans couldn't have been happier, for this is Viking weather. And with the competition coming from mild and sunny San Diego in the form of the Chargers, observers figured it wouldn't take long for the icy winds to have an effect on the outsiders. The numbing cold did set the Chargers back as they committed 3 turnovers, but the Vikes showed no immunity to the elements as they lost the ball on 4 occasions. Some of the miscues could be attributed to the climate, others to a hard-hitting San Diego squad. The Vikings broke out on top as ex-Charger running back Ricky Young, number 34, took a Fran Tarkenton toss in for a first-period touchdown. Young caught 6 passes on the day to give him 68 for the season, most in the NFL. But this would be the only time Minnesota would score in the game. The Chargers tied things up soon after, then went ahead for good when quarterback Dan Fouts, fighting both the Viking pass rush and a slippery turf, found wide receiver John Jefferson, number 83. For the second consecutive week, the Fouts-Jefferson combination accounted for the winning touchdown as San Diego edged the Vikings 13-7. It was the Chargers' fourth straight victory, their longest winning streak since 1969.
For 50 years now, we've been having a lot of fun with the Goodyear blimp. Now it's your turn, because we're offering this 13.5-inch scale model of the real thing. It even has an electric night sign, so you can make your own lighted moving messages just like we do with the real blimp. This snap-together Revell model is easy to build. You don't need paint or cement. It's available wherever hobbies and toys are sold. From Revell, world's largest manufacturer of plastic model kits.
A world of elegance, intimacy, beauty, adventure, strength. The Rolex Day-Date.
White Cloud. It's so different, so much softer that your husband will care. Look over here at the screen and watch. Okay, who is that?
My husband.
Well, he's comparing new improved White Cloud to your brand. Which one is the softest?
The one on the right is.
Let me see what it says in the bottom.
Feature White Cloud.
Your husband, Bonnie, picked new improved White Cloud as being softer than your brand. How soft do you think it is?
I'd say it was much softer for him to notice.
New improved White Cloud is the softest one you can buy. Watch what else he says. Okay, now, Tom, you just picked new White Cloud as being softer than the brand your wife buys. Is softness important to you?
It is important to me, softness.
So what are you going to tell your wife?
Oh, that's showed by White Cloud.
You said that your husband didn't care about bathroom tissue.
Apparently he does care. White Cloud must be softer.
So what are you going to do?
I'm going to buy White Cloud.
Why?
Because he's my husband. I want to please him.
Your family cares. Shouldn't you care to buy the softest? New improved White Cloud.
The doomsday defense descended on Archie Manning, forcing 4 Saint turnovers. Larry Cole's interception was one of 3 suffered by Manning, the number 1 ranked passer in the NFC. On this November afternoon, Tony Dorsett exploded for 152 yards, 63 of them on his longest sprint of the year. Dorsett also achieved 1,000-yard status for the second time in his 2-year career. More importantly, the victory over the Saints tied the Cowboys with Washington for the division lead. With Roger Staubach, Dorsett, and the defense in high gear, Dallas seems to be reaching its peak just in time for the playoffs. The Buffalo Bills could manage only 1 touchdown against Tampa Bay, and not surprisingly, it was scored in spectacular fashion by their fine receiver, Bob Chandler, number 81. With 15-year veteran Bill Munson relieving starting quarterback Joe Ferguson, the Bills had plenty of problems passing against the tough Buccaneer defense, which picked off 4 passes while holding the Bills scoreless throughout the first half. John McKay's defense was about all that kept his team even mildly competitive last year, and it's much improved this season, although generally unrecognized on a national level. The man who makes it go is the team's first draft choice ever, number 63, Leroy Selman. The former Oklahoma All-American relies on superior strength at defensive end, as these 2 ineffective Buffalo blockers will testify. Another key to the Bucs' 3-4 defense is nose guard Dave Pear, number 76, whose forte is extreme quickness and agility. While the defense has been rugged, the team's big problem in its brief 3-year history has been on offense. But with another number 1, Ricky Bell, finally showing his stuff after a rookie year of pain, it too has made great strides. The attack has already scored 26 touchdowns compared to merely 7 all last season. Bell is one reason. Rookie quarterback Doug Williams was another before he broke a jaw. With Mike Ray subbing at quarterback, many felt the Bucs were in trouble. But last week against the Bills' papier-mâché defense, Ray flashed his old USC college form. passing on the run and leading Trojan-laden Tampa Bay to a rout of Buffalo. Former Raider Ray directed the injury-riddled Tampa attack with a firm hand, completing 7 of 14 passes for 121 yards and 2 touchdowns to Morris Owens, number 85, and Jimmy Giles, the young tight end obtained in the trade that enabled Houston to draft Earl Campbell. Mike Ray's joy at being a winning quarterback is understandable. Tampa Bay's 31-10 triumph snapped a 3-game losing streak. And at 5-7 for the season, who would have believed the once lowly Buccaneers would be ahead of both the Bears and Lions in the once tough NFC Central Division?
Polaroid's got a new SX70 film that develops twice as fast now and gives you their most brilliant colors ever. What's that one?
Red.
And that?
Yellow.
Good. How about that?
Purple.
Purple?
Isn't that purple?
Yeah, that's purple. You can't beat Polaroid's color, and you get it with one step. Simplest camera in the world. Just press the button, and a motor hands it to you.
That's my friend.
Get a one step.
How do you top the great value of the Mazda RX-7 sports car? With another great value, introducing the '79 Mazda GLC. A great little car with great mileage and more. It's versatile and now has a more powerful 4-cylinder engine. The Mazda GLC, just $38.95.
The more you look, the more you like.
Whatever your insurance needs, see State Farm agent Bill Sellers. Bill can insure your life, your home, your auto, and your health. So depend on State Farm and Bill Sellers.
In a free society, you have to offer 2 things to succeed in business. One is a good product. The other is a good place to work for the people who make the product good. You can't do one without the other. Take our beer, Coors. We've been brewing it for over 100 years, right here in Golden, Colorado. We use pure Rocky Mountain spring water, always have. We use gleaming modern equipment and nothing but natural ingredients. And we take our time. We never rush the beer. But who are we? We're 6,000 people. People who like working here. People who care about the jobs they do. People who make it all come together until you've got this. Coors. Great value for the money. And great flavor, too. Our people wouldn't be satisfied with anything less. Coors. Our people make it better.
Nowadays, the Oakland Raiders aren't able to blow their horn quite as often or as loudly as in the past. And this was never more evident than last week in a rain-soaked affair with the Detroit Lions. The Silver Rush dropped Kenny Stabler 3 times, while the Detroit offense used some calculated deception to give Oakland's defense the slip. The Lions overcame a 13-point deficit with 14 second-quarter points. The most impressive touchdown coming as quarterback Gary Danielson hit Freddie Scott on a 42-yard beauty. But while these Raiders may not be the dominating force they once were, last Sunday they proved they are still good enough to win the games they're supposed to. It simply takes them a little longer. And so, as though it was written in a script, Oakland put down the Lions' uprising right on cue, scoring twice in the second half and won in a come-from-behind effort, 29-17. Just when you think the Raiders are going to take a bath, they seem to find a shelter from the storm. However, whether their umbrella can withstand the approaching turbulence of a Western Division championship remains to be seen. Early in the season, a Cardinal-Redskin matchup seemed a mismatch and a contest Washington could win running backwards. Since that time, however, there has been a metamorphosis in St. Louis, something that has turned the passive and once winless Cardinals into a flock of mean and ornery birds. Joe Theismann was sacked 9 times, and the Cardinals ripped off 24 points before the Redskins could even find the end zone. Everything favored St. Louis during the first half, and this forced the Redskins into a desperate game of catch-up. Joe Theismann to John McDaniel brought the Redskins to within a touchdown with a quarter to go. Yet the ones they needed most were the ones that got away. Washington dropped another game they were supposed to win, while the Cardinals won another game they were supposed to lose. It's been that kind of season in the National Football League. The passing fame of babyface Jim Zorn, quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks, had spread to Arrowhead Stadium. But last Sunday, Zigzag Zorn decided to prove to Kansas City that the Seahawks can play the Chiefs' style of game. A draw play by number 47 Sherman Smith set up a second-effort touchdown by running back David Sims, number 35, who leads the NFL with 11 touchdowns. Leading 10-0, Seattle forced the Chiefs to play the Seahawks game, prompting Kansas City quarterback Mike Livingston to take to the air. Receptions by wide receiver number 89 Henry Marshall set up a 1-yard touchdown pass to number 22 running back Ted McKnight as the Chiefs closed within 3 points. Late in the game, the Chiefs' passing attack managed to push the ball to the Seattle 1-yard line. But with 15 seconds left in the game, the Chiefs went back to the ground, and it cost them dearly. A fumble by Tony Reed ended Kansas City's last hopes and lifted Seattle to a 13-10 victory. It was another frustrating loss for Kansas City's head coach Marv Levy, who summed up the latest Chief heartbreaker when he said, "You ought to be able to score a touchdown from the 1-yard line." This is the NFL has been brought to you by Mazda and the new 79 Mazda GLC wagon, a great way to get the most wagon for your money. Mazda, the more you look, the more you like. A contribution to the United Way has been made by each of the following sponsors. Polyglycode Rust-Proofing Shield, rated #1 by independent laboratories. Guaranteed protection for 7 full years. A reputable new car dealer will recommend Polyglycode Rust-Proofing Shield. And by Royce CB, who is giving a factory rebate of up to $20 on any of a dozen CBs at your local dealer. Royce CB, because someday you may need all the CB you can get. And by the Kodak Ectralite 10 camera with built-in electronic flash that takes action-stopping, sharp, beautiful pictures. Another can-do camera from Kodak.
For the great sport of flying disc, pick the top performer, the Frisbee brand flying disc, made only by Wham-O.
There's no orange like Orange Crush.